BlackGirlsYouTubeToo, and lately I've been hearing a lot about this new feature film called Birth of a Nation, which, as you may or may not know, is about the life of Nat Turner, who was an enslaved man, and he led the biggest slave revolt in the history of the United States. Now, Nat Turner is played by Nate Parker, who directed the film, wrote it, and produced it. The film was in the 2016 Sundance Film Festival. I actually did not go see the movie yet, but I listened to a couple of the songs that were featured, and then I went and listened to the entire soundtrack, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's actually really dope, but don't take my word for it. Go ahead on Spotify and iTunes and listen to it for yourselves. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it. Without further ado, let's get into my review. So the first track that we have on the album is called Go Tell 'Em by Vic Mensa, and in my opinion I feel like it was kind of based off of the gospel song Go Tell It on the Mountain. The idea of Go Tell It on the Mountain is that you're going to tell everybody about the greatness of Jesus. Now, Go Tell 'Em by Vic Mensa I feel like is the slave just expressing like how he feels about slavery, telling everybody that it's not right, what's going to happen, everybody's going to be captured and all that stuff. That's the vibe that I got from the song, and I think it was a really great way to start the soundtrack. It definitely puts you in the mindset that you are kind of on this journey with them. You hear like the chains, there's a little bit of chanting. It just sounds very, very like a slave era-esque. So the second track, it was one of my favorites. It was called Black Moses, and it was by Priscilla, Renea, Meek, and Pusha T. And I felt like the feel of it was really great. In comparison to the first one where I felt like the slave was telling everybody what's going on, I feel like this one was more about acknowledging that we came from nothing, but we're not going to end that way. I feel like it was talking about how the idea is that we are going to try to run away, we're going to try to break free. Black Moses being like the whole subject of the song, I feel like it's just saying we are going to have to shed blood to get to where we need to be, as to set our people free. See how that kind of tied in? Shout out to Moses. A part of it that I thought was kind of interesting was Meek Mill's verse, because not only did he talk about the plight of the slave, but I feel like he also talked about where we are today in culture, how black people are dealing with our situation here in America in 2016. I think he kind of brought up respectability politics, which was really interesting to me based on the type of person that Meek Mill is and where he came from. He brought up a valid point that I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to be too happy with. It's about the fact that, you know, we kill each other every single day, but we run from the police. They're doing it too. So it wasn't exactly respectability politics. He wasn't driving us to go do something, but just bringing it up itself was really interesting, especially in this type of film. Okay, track number 3 comes in strong with, again, the sound of chains and all that good stuff. It's called Whips and Chains by 2 Chainz, and this song is low-key a banger. Like, it went so hard for no reason. Where did y'all pick up 2 Chainz? Like, I thought he fell off the map. Y'all brought him right back. 2 Chainz was talking about how we black people, we are not our ancestors. This is 2016. You will get stomped on if you roll up on us the wrong way. We are not slaves anymore. Well, that's debatable. Physically, we're not slaves bound by chains anymore. So he's saying now he wants the chains, he wants the whips, he's gonna turn a 360. All in the mindset of Nat Turner. Track number 4 is called Oh Lord by Gucci Mane and Lil Wayne. This soundtrack is just full of strange collaborations. You'll see what I mean when we get down a little further, but in my opinion, this one was a weird one. Gucci Mane is a rapper from down south. As you probably know, he just came out of jail this summer. Then you have Lil Wayne, who is deemed as a lot of people's favorite rappers, and they collab on this track, and it's fire. I feel like they sampled another gospel song. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. So the slave is saying, you know, I don't think that God brought me this far, maybe in terms of running away, and I didn't see the movie, in terms of running away, in terms of having this lifestyle. He didn't give us all this grief, not to show us some type of great life. So it's just about keeping like the hope alive for the slave. And the whole song, or at least Gucci Mane's chorus, is a prayer. Track number 5 is called On My Own by Lecrae and Leon Bridges. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Lecrae like a gospel rapper? I thought. And I guess it makes sense because where we first started, like the first 4 tracks are straight up like Negro spirituals, slave chants, Chainz, all that stuff, so you know that that's what you're into. Now we're moving on to a part where it's more churchy. It turns a little gospel. Whose voice is this on the track, just like singing directly into my soul? We're gonna move on to track number 6. I want you guys to listen to track number 5 yourselves and just get your life from those vocals. Track number 6 is called Raising Hell by Sir the Baptist, ChuchPeople, and Killer Mike. And it's the dopest thing that this right here, I noticed it before, this right here is actually my favorite song on the entire album. Sir the Baptist follows me on Instagram and he commented on one of my pictures and I didn't know who he was, and then I heard this song and I was like, what? So yeah, shout out to you, Sir the Baptist. You're literally amazing. This song made me want to get up and dance. This is one of the songs where you listen to and like you have the camera on and you say, y'all mind if I wild out a little bit? If I want a bird for the nation, I gotta get it. I don't even know what to say. Basically, it's just like livens up the whole album at this point. We are at track number 6 and you have 10 more to go. This one is like that feel-good track that just lets you know that the battle is not over. We're still in it to win it. The 7th track is called Bloodline by Georgia Q. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, unfortunately. I'm not familiar with this artist, but she has a really, really unique voice that gives the whole soundtrack just like this different flavor. I don't really have much to say about this track. I feel like I'm just gonna have to keep listening to it and it'll grow on me. It's not that I don't like it, it's just very, very different. When you hear her voice, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're gonna move on to track number 8, Stand, because you guys brought my husband Trey Songz like out of retirement. I don't know when the last time he dropped a song was, but then here he just pops up singing sweet praises. So the message in this song was just telling the world that if we want our children to have a better life, to have a better world, we have to be the ones to stand up. In the movie, I'm assuming that this is how they were getting other slaves to agree to the rebellion. Like, if you want a change, you have to be the start of it. But then at the same time, the song could definitely be used in any other scenario but the film, because he could just be talking about a relationship. He's like in love with his partner and stuff, but at the same time he kind of wants to leave, but he's not really sure about what's going to happen in the future. Like, you're comfortable where you are. Maybe it's not such a good idea to leave. So maybe that's supposed to be like the doubt of the other slaves. They're not sure if they want to participate because they don't know what's going to happen. And then we have track number 8. Should listen to Neo touched my heart. He did. I was expecting this to be a very, very soulful track, and it wasn't. Yet it was still able to touch me. It was more poetic. He's talking to a girl that he does not know. He doesn't know her name, and he was asking her, based on the way she has presented herself, is he okay in calling her queen? Can he acknowledge her as such? Now, I know that there's like Black Twitter's probably gonna have a problem with this track because he calls her queen, and a lot of people have this issue with like black men only saying queen because they don't want to say your name. Whatever. Like, it's a really weird argument. I know. There are some people that feel like that though, and I have a feeling they're gonna have an issue with the track. But I personally loved it. I just, instead of having to call her like that girl with the red shirt, bae, ma, shorty, he just asks like if he can call her queen. I also think that this song could like easily be in a Disney movie where like the princess meets the prince and he doesn't really know anything about her yet, but he's been watching her across the room dancing or just looking graceful and beautiful, and so he just asks if he can call her his queen. I don't know, I just thought this was so cute. I loved it. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Track number 10, the entire DMV can stand up right now because it is called Live Forever by Wale and Anthony Hamilton. When was the last time you heard a track by Anthony Hamilton? Birth of a Nation just drew out all of these great artists and put them back on the map. They're like, hey, be a part of this amazing work of art. And I'm here for it. When the song first came on, I honestly thought it was John Legend singing to me. I had forgotten all about Anthony Hamilton, and he just like graced the track with his vocals. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, track number 11 is called Icarus, and it's by an artist named KAMAU. Unfortunately, again, I don't know this artist yet, but I'm actually going to look into him because he was really dope. So before I get into it, for those of you who don't know, Icarus is a Greek mythology story. You may have heard of like the labyrinth, which is a maze. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis really quick. I'm going to sound like a nerd. So Daedalus is stuck in the maze because he made King Minos mad. So anyway, he and his son's name is Icarus, are stuck in the maze. And they are like, this is not going to be our fate. We're not going to die in here and get killed by the, what was it called? Centaur? Something like that. He eats people, he's a cannibal. They're like, this isn't going to be our fate. We're not going to die this way. So Daedalus builds like this giant wing set out of like a wooden cross and some wax and some feathers. And he tries it first and he's like, oh, it works. So Icarus, this is how we're gonna get out of here and get free. You gotta keep flapping, but don't fly too close to the sun because the wax might melt, and don't fly too close to the ocean because you might drown. You just gotta like keep your eye on the prize and get out of there safely. So Icarus is like, bet. And so he starts flapping his wings. He's like, wait, bruh, I can fly? And he gets too excited, so he just soars into the sky, goes too close to the sun, just like his dad said not to do. All the wax melted. He didn't know, so he's still flapping. Come to find out, he's just flapping his bare arms, and he falls into the water and drowns, and he dies. So yeah, he broke free, but he didn't get very far. That could also be symbolic of the rebellion. So there was this whole plan thought out of what was going to happen, how they were going to do it, and maybe some people didn't follow the plan to a T, and that's how it wasn't 100% successful. Anyway, this song, the Icarus, is so dope. It's another artist, just like Priscilla. This guy has a really, really unique voice, and in his rapping, it kind of sounds like storytelling almost, especially the beginning. In this song, he's talking about escaping into freedom, and he equates freedom with being like the sky. So I wonder, is his plan going to fail, just like Icarus's? Gotta watch the movie to find out. Track number 10 is called Sins of Our Fathers by Marsha, Ambrosius, and The Game. Another really, really weird collab, right? Marsha Ambrosius, who's like this flowetry type artist, and then The Game, who's like Twitter fingers, super hot. I post on Instagram and make really cool captions. The track was awesome. The sins of our fathers being the founding fathers of America, is basically slavery. That's like the founding fathers' biggest sin. If you didn't know, each of them owned slaves and perpetuated slavery. Pull up the lyrics because The Game honestly bodied his verse. There's one part that's really vulgar, but I really love it, so I'm gonna try my best to yeah. In the second verse, he says, I can hear the voices, ropes around throats, separated our family when they stacked us on them boats. Choke as your legs shake, you start to lose hope, wishing the branch would break, but no. As soon as your neck snap, they start laughing and taking pictures, cause to them you ain't nothing but a mother. I know you've seen those pictures on social media that unfortunately went viral, but fortunately to remind our, country what they did in the past. But I just thought that it's so powerful. I didn't know The Game was like so woke, and so I really appreciated his verses, and I thank you guys for adding this track to the overall soundtrack. I think that it definitely made a difference. We're gonna move on to track number 13 called Firebird by Marko, Penn, and Janine. I did not know either of these artists, but it is the sweetest thing I have ever heard. If you don't listen to anything else on this album, please listen to this track. It's, in my opinion, it's better than the Caretaker, Dram, and SZA collab. Like, their voices just mesh together seamlessly. It's Janine has such a wide vocal range, and Marko Penn holds it down underneath her. It's just, every duo needs to sing this song at their school talent show. You'll get first place. You will. You will. And then a quotable lyric is the part where it says, "Firebird, when you fly off into the sky, I'll make sure your wings work." And then that brings me back into the mindset of Icarus. You know, it's gonna make sure that you'll be okay. We'll watch after you. Number 14, Forward by KAMAU is probably my least favorite song on the album. I love KAMAU, and again, I was expecting a very, very soulful track, and I just didn't get it. It actually didn't even sound like KAMAU. I'm used to her singing with all this pain and heartache, and that's how she gets all her notes belted out. She was still able, don't get me wrong, she was still able to use her range and use like her diaphragm and get all those gritty notes out, but I just didn't feel the pain like in the other songs that she sings. And that's partially because the song Forward is about moving forward. You're not thinking about the past, you're just trying to think about the future and staying positive. Do you guys remember that episode of Sister Sister when Tamara like couldn't sing well unless she was heartbroken by the boy that she was trying to date? So Tia kept on trying to make her sad so that she would sing really well at the talent show. That's how I feel about Kay. I don't want her to be sad, but girl, I need you to blow. Track number 15 is called War. It's by Nas and Raye, and I'm really, really happy that you guys brought Nas back. Like, this was the perfect album to do it on. I love that Nas is so pro-black, pro-loving yourself, and so to put him on this soundtrack was just, it was a brilliant, brilliant idea. I'm gonna quote one of my favorite lyrics that Nas spits. It says, "Watch out for the traitors. When they say make America great again, do they mean make us all slaves again? Don't be sidetracked." No shade though, no shade. So one thing that they do say that knows gonna make a lot of people uncomfortable is the fact that we are declaring war on slavery and war on the racial divide. So he says that everybody, whether you're black, red, or white, should come together. And if you are for freedom, technically you have a little Nat Turner in you. That's what he says, and I really want to see like what the public is gonna say about it. I haven't heard anybody comment on that yet, but I know that it's coming. It's too much of like a controversial lyric, controversial concept. The very last song, yes guys, we got here, is called Couldn't Hear Nobody Pray, and it's by the Wiley College Choir. Shout out to Wiley College, which is an HBCU in Marshall, Texas. You guys are great, and this track was amazing. It is the only a cappella track on the entire album, and it's led by a guy who sings with an accent. It's very, 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 very powerful, and I understand completely why they picked the Wiley College Choir. However, you know, Howard University Gospel Choir is out here too if you ever need another. No. This song was a beautiful, beautiful way to wrap up the album. It brought things full circle, and the very last chord that they hit, can we get that to play real quick? Like, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. It was beautiful. So that brings us to the end of the Birth of a Nation soundtrack. I absolutely loved it. You guys definitely should listen to it. I want to hear your opinions on it, especially on the songs that I said might be a little controversial. So please hit up iTunes, hit up Spotify, listen to the Birth of a Nation soundtrack, and let me know what you think down below in the comments. This has been BlackGirlsYouTubeToo, and I'm here for you. Y'all mind if I wild out a little bit?
If I want to birth a nation, I gotta get loud.